Okay, so we're back, and what we have here is a text document. Now I'm going to close my documents drawer over here. And I say it's a text document because we have not made it a web page yet. We have some work cut out for us. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of this text, and I am going to change the size of those characters so you can read them a little bit easier. I know it's kind of hard to see them. And then let's go ahead and expand this a little bit so we can see a little bit more real estate, if you will. Now, to review, a web page is an HTML document enclosed in the HTML tag. So I put in my open HTML tag, and I'm going to come down to the bottom and insert a closing HTML tag. Let's go back up to the top, and now let's insert the head. So I start the head and I end the head, but I haven't done anything in the head yet. So let's open it up, tab, and let's put in a title. And then my title is going to be The Bill of Rights. Now that's going to appear at the very top on the frame of our browser window, whether we're running Mosaic or Safari, Firefox, Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, doesn't matter. Okay, so I've got a head. Now I need a body. So I'll put in the body tag. And let's move down to the bottom just before we end HTML, and let's turn off the body there. Okay, so now we've got a web document now. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to take that Bill of Rights, and I would like to make that excuse me, a heading of the largest size at the top of my page. And that would be an H1 tag. So let's put that in, and then we'll turn it off. Okay? Now, I might want to have my Amendment 1 be a bit smaller. So let's make that a heading 2. And the next thing I need to do is to define my paragraph, which would be the content of the First Amendment. So let's tab that over so things line up nicely. And then whenever I see a word that runs off my screen, I'm just going to hit return. And that way we can read the whole thing without panning over. And that should be it. So let's go ahead and let's end that paragraph. Now, what I might want to do is to draw a line between my First Amendment and my Second Amendment. we use a I wanted to say heading rule, but actually it's a horizontal rule for this. And the tag is HR. And then I'm going to close it like this. Excuse me. Now, the horizontal rule is not a toggle switch. However, newer standards of HTML require every tag to be ended. Now, that tag, HR, right now is an empty tag. That's the terminology for it. An empty tag or an empty element. And what we want to do is we want to close it. That way, our web page is more readable to all of the mobile devices that are emerging. Okay, so we've got a heading 1, a heading 2, and a paragraph. There's one other bit of syntax I want to teach you, and that's the line break. Or you could call it a line feed. And that's very simple. BR for break. Again, it's one of those empty HTML elements, so we need to close it. And let's put one in before and one in after the paragraph. Okay, now if you followed along, you pretty much know everything else that you need to do to finish up this web page. We want to go in to the subtitle for our amendments and make each one an H2. We want to make the text of each amendment a paragraph, and then we want to insert a break, a horizontal rule, and another break at the end. So let's do one more while we're together. We'll do H2. Then let's tab that over. And then we'll close it up. Then we'll put in our paragraph. We'll tab that over. And now we'll start to put in our white space so we can read the document. Okay. Okay, now, remember our friend cut and paste? I'm going to come up to these three lines, the break, the horizontal rule, and the second break. I'm going to highlight those three lines, do my Control C or Open Apple C. Actually, I'm doing Open Apple C because I use a Mac. And then I'm going to insert with a Control V for you PC users or an Open Apple V for you Mac users. And there we go. Now, we just want to continue that all the way down through the 10 amendments. We've done 2 in this podcast. I'm going to leave it to you to go ahead and do it for the next 8. Now, it's important that you do this because we're going to be building upon this page for a while until we get something that we feel is really attractive. Okay? See you next time.